That last video ended a little sooner than I expected, so we're about to offset these two diagonal lines. Again, the gray move icon in the middle of the screen is the watermark of the ice cream free version I'm using, so disregard it. The offset command is this lower right icon in the Modify panel of the Home tab. Click on the offset icon to invoke the offset command, and first thing it asks for is specify the offset distance. We want 0.38 and hit enter for the offset distance. Now select the two lines and select inward for which side you want them to offset to. There's our offset procedure. Next we want to fill it to put radii at each of these sharp corners between the circles and the diagonal lines. So let's launch the fillet command on the Modify panel of the Home tab. First time you use it, the radius is set to 0. We want it to be 0.25, so click the radius option of the fillet command and set the radius setting to 0.25 and hit enter. Now you can click a line and a circle and radius the corner. Click in the vicinity where you expect the arc to stop and start, or it won't appear the way you expect. Click fillet again, click where you expect the arc to be on the circle and on the line, and it'll appear as you're expecting. Click fillet, hit enter again to invoke the last used command. There's our 4 fillets. Okay, let's erase this guideline here. No longer need it. Select it with a crossing window and hit enter or rapidly right click. Next we need to draw the center lines. By the way, double check, yep, object is set to print out very fat. So let's leave the line weight off for the time being. Next we need to draw the center lines. Let's make current, say, the center layer, and draw lines from top dead center quadrant to bottom top dead center quadrant. Hit enter again to invoke the last use command and go 9 o'clock quadrant across to 3 o'clock quadrant. Okay, it looks good so far, but we might get a second short line after we finish scaling this to Burgener's 1.3 size. Click the scale icon on the Modify panel, select both lines, hit enter, snap at the midpoint of either line or the center of the circle. For the scale factor prompt on the command line, type 1.3 and hit enter. Yep, sure enough, this line, we got a big cross instead of a little cross, so let's move it from the center layer to the center X2 layer. Now remember, center X2 is for big circles, and this circle's big, so it'll look good on center X2. Hit escape to deselect objects. Let's draw a line from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock quadrant, enter to finish, enter to invoke the line command again, snap at the 6 o'clock quadrant, and snap at the 12 o'clock quadrant, hit enter. Scale this guy again by 1.3 and hit enter. So good. Center is the right, it looks good for the left side, and center X2 layer and line type look good for the right side. Again, you can get the warm and fuzzy by clicking the line weight display icon, and that's close to what it'll come out on paper looking like. Okay, that's about it. Oh, forgot to trim the circles, my bad. Click on the trim icon, select everything for a cutting edge by simply hitting enter, and disintegrate those two little pieces of the circle that aren't shown on the handout. Now we're done.